Hey, what's up, buddy?
Hey, John.
How you doing?
Nice to see that handsome face of yours.
Oh, I appreciate you. Yeah, it's been a while since I've seen you, since I went out with a mission to get everybody drunk in New York.
Oh, yeah, that was a good night.
It was. I seriously I want to go back so bad. Like when this is all over, like my first item on my agenda is to come back to New York because I miss it. It's kind of like when I used to visit San Diego all the time. New York, it's like whenever I'm done with whatever I need to be doing, I never want to leave.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
And
so
you
I
can all,
might.
and, I mean, present time's excluded, but there's always something to do about New York, and
Yeah,
that's one
yeah,
of the things I love
absolutely.
about it.
Yeah, I never get
Even
bored out
now,
there.
even now in the city, I have one of my best friends lives in Manhattan, and in the East Village, there's like a couple of bars that like tried to remain open, and they're doing like to go like window walk up to go drinks,
Yeah,
and which is actually a very different experience for drinking in New York because we have open container laws. Like even if you're at the
right.
club and you're going outside to the smoking section, they will make you leave your drink inside while you go and like smoke. So to be able to walk around the city while drinking is kind of like a New
It's weird.
Yorker's high school experience.
Yeah, I saw an article about that like a couple of the places in the East Village were doing, yeah, just walk up, like just be responsible, don't have it in a glass container,
Yeah,
plastic cup,
yeah.
and walk
It
around. I
was a
thought that
good
was pretty
drink
cool.
too. It was a good drink.
Rad. Hey everybody, I'm John Avila. I work with Sound the Groove. Welcome to the Quarantine Tapes Volume 2. To kind of explain what we're doing here is Groove, as many of you know, we book shows across the country and we're kind of in a bit of a holding pattern right now. So I thought this would be a good opportunity to share with you guys some of the phenomenal people that we work with. And today we're interviewing Rachel from 26 Shades of Green, who is a phenomenal photographer that works with us in New York City. Rachel, how are you doing today?
I'm doing pretty good.
Also, it's Cinco de Mayo, and it's on
Yeah,
Taco
and it's Taco
Tuesday.
Tuesday, so I did my due diligence. I made tacos.
Rad, awesome, awesome.
Yeah,
I've got some carne asada in the kitchen. So
good.
in general, I mean, aside from Taco Tuesday, what have you been doing to keep yourself busy during quarantine?
Well, John, I also work at a camera store here in New York City, so I got laid off pretty early during this thing. So I'm really, I lost count of days after day six. So, I know it's been longer than 40 days, but I don't know exactly how much longer. The first month, I don't have free time like this often because, I work and I shoot a lot. So I've been pretty much hustling every day since I was 15 years old. And so to have like a month and to just take off a month and pause, watch movies, catch up on TV shows. I just kind of like played some video games and stuff. And then for the first month, and then the second month, I kind of like said I need to be more productive. So I started writing again. I actually also come from a film background, so I've been just tossing around some
Rad.
ideas, just trying to find little ways to be productive. I tried to make some improvements on my website. Like I added a mailing list to my website so I could, and today actually I sent my first newsletter, just trying to figure out little ways I can just continue to be creative and to, I don't know, live the dream.
I mean, I hear on multiple fronts. We've been trying to keep ourselves busy with, we can't book shows right now, so we're just kind of preparing for, future work. And on the video game front, I hear you on that. I have an old N64, and I've been catching
Nice.
up on Mario. Um,
Nice.
but yeah. So for everybody who's watching 26 Shades of Green, it's great photography. Rachel does a lot of our shows in New York at the Knitting Factory, at the Drum Music Club, at the Delancey, and she's just phenomenal at the low light settings and just capturing that moment that
Oh,
a lot of people aren't able to capture with
John.
photography. And I did want to ask you, like, what got you into like concert photography? Because of course it's a lot different than like just
A
doing
lot
photo
of
shoots.
just portraits or fashion, which is something I started diving into this year, which is completely different. Honestly, photography in general has kind of been like this hobby that I didn't know that I had for a long time. Because, when I was growing up, I did a lot of theater. So I was like, oh, I'm going to be an actor when I grow up. And that's why I moved to New York. And then after a year of acting school, I was like, no, I'm going to be a filmmaker. And then I started working at Adorama, and for a few reasons, I decided to put down filmmaking a little bit, but I still had all those beautiful DSLRs that different brands of cameras I had never tried before. So as I started to experiment with new cameras, I got more into photography. And then I realized that I've been doing photography my entire life without realizing it. When I was a kid, I was always like playing around with like disposable cameras. And then
Rad.
my parents got a Sony Macvia, which is like the first digital camera. It like records images on a floppy disk.
Okay.
So when I was a kid, I would play with that camera a lot. And then in high school, I remember I purchased some cheap digital camera, and I took film photography in high school. So I was always doing photography. Even in film school, I had a 7D. And different times I would just go out and uh, have photography days where I just go around and shoot street photography because I thought that by doing photography it would make me a better filmmaker. And then after I put down filmmaking, I started doing photography more. I was trying to shoot anything I could, just try to build a portfolio. So like I went to House of Yes and I shot a couple of times. I went out and did street photography. I took some of my actor friends and I went out and did like street urban shoots with them, like models. A good friend of mine from college had just randomly walked into Adorama because he was picking up gear to shoot a music video. And his name is Mikey Condolian. I said, well, hey, if you guys are ever shooting, doing a concert or anything, will you let me know? Because I never shot concerts before. It sounds like it would be fun. He's like, oh,
Right.
yeah, come out. It'd be great. So we'd love to have you. His band's name is Birds in the Boneyard, by the way. And you
Okay.
should really check out Birds in the Boneyard because
It
I
sounds
think they're
familiar. I wonder.
amazing.
Cool.
He went to
Wonder if
high
they've come across
school.
our desk already.
I think they probably have because he went to high school with Louis Feliciano.
Oh, rad. Shout
Yeah,
out to Lewis,
so
by the way.
shout out to Louis Feliciano.
Yeah, that's how
Uh,
we met, I believe, right?
yes, Louis
So
also
cool.
introduced us. So Louis
Right
is a
on.
good guy. He's a good guy, and his band is doing good things right now too. Um,
Absolutely. Shout out to Night
so
Coast.
nice shout out to Night Coast. So Mikey says, yeah, come shoot my show. It'll be great. And I went out and I shot the show. And even still to this day, the band is him and his brother, and they also have a drummer. And but he and his brother are like the heart and soul of the band. And so I got this like really amazing shot of him and his brother at the microphone, and and that was like 3 years ago, and it's still to this day like one of the best photos I've ever taken. And so from
Nice.
there, like they just kept bringing me back out to their shows. I just kind of fell into it, and then you and I met about a year ago, and I started shooting with you guys on the Groove, and from there, it just kind of like kept building, kept spiraling until now this year. Well, I was on the track to shoot some amazing artists this year,
Right.
um, but we are in the great pause, so that's all on pause, I
Yeah.
guess.
No, I hear you. Well, yeah, I mean, it shows a lot. I mean, just, I mean, you're shooting for this band, and then, yeah, we met, and now we've been working with you for a
About a
year, maybe
year.
2 years.
Yeah,
Yeah,
about
a
a year.
year. We're coming up on year two. Or we're trying to enter year two, but like you said, the great
Getting
pause is
there.
happening
The
right
great
now.
pause. The
Uh,
pause of the Rona pause.
Right on. Well, yeah, no, it's been, and everybody who's like tuning in, definitely go to 26 Shades of Green. It's phenomenal photography work, and you can just see if you just go to the Instagram, just like it's nothing but phenomenal shot after phenomenal shot after phenomenal shot. I did want to ask you, it's kind of a fun question I like asking everybody. What's like the weirdest thing that has ever happened to you, like in a shoot or during a concert, while shooting a
I
concert?
was I read this question and I was thinking really hard of it, and I I came up with three stories, but I don't think that we'll have time to get all of them, so I'm going to give you the title and you can tell me which one.
Cool.
Um there was the know-it-all guy, there's drunken asshole, and there's nearly falling to my death.
All right, we're gonna go with nearly falling to your death because I think
Okay.
there's too many stories about drunken assholes already.
Okay. So nearly falling to my death. I use a two camera setup. So I can have like one lens on one side and one lens on the other without switching lenses. I can just very quickly go back and forth between the two lenses. And
Right.
so, and I wear them on like this harness. And when I shoot, I like to get up on stage and just kind of like tiptoe around the sides to see, I like to play with all those angles. And when I was shooting this night, it was like a heavy metal showcase. So there was like all these heavy metal bands. And there was this one band, I think I was shooting at the Knitting Factory. And the way that that stage is, it's like 4 feet on the up off the ground. And they had like this metal box and they had this like banner uh like with their band name on it, but the way that they put these furniture pieces, these set pieces on the stage, they like heavily clung to the left side of the stage. But the reason that they put this steel box there was so they could put one leg on it and like jam out. Is that me painting a mental picture for you? Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, it makes
They would
sense.
like they put their leg up on it so they can like I don't know if that makes sense. Anyway, so I'm up on stage and and I kind of like tiptoed on the side of the stage a little so I could like get a high angle like that. And one of the guitarists came on one side of me. So he kind of blocked the way I could go out like that. And on my left. And then the box thing was on my right. And I probably like could have found a way to like not disturb the show while also exiting, except the bassist came up and started rocking out on this box thing. So I'm like trapped on the edge of the Knitting Factory stage with one
Oh
guy
God.
going crazy over here and one guy going crazy over here. And I thought like, and they just had no spatial awareness at all. Like Archer would have been
Sure, they're
very
rocking out.
disappointed because they're rocking out, but they have no idea that like I'm standing there. And so because of like the force of everything, I nearly like fell off backwards off the Knitting Factory stage. And I
Oh
had
geez.
never been afraid like that before. And
Gotcha.
that was one of the most scariest experiences of my life. I never
And yeah.
It was like so frightening. I never thought that I would be so scared because that's never happened to me before. That's the only time that's happened to me. And
Well, I'm
nearly,
glad you didn't fall.
yeah,
Um,
I was
so
mostly worried about the $12,000 worth of camera equipment that I had strapped to me. So,
I hear you. Yeah, we had a show where we were at the House of Blues in Anaheim, and just band rocking out. Great band, a great group of kids, and kind of like the Knitting Factory, the stage is elevated, and we had a photographer in the front row, and the kid was rocking out, and he didn't notice. It's not. I feel bad because he didn't notice, but he kicked his leg out just to do this high kick, and it hit the front of the camera lens,
oh,
and it just
yeah, oh,
flung to the back of the audience. Kid was a great kid. Like, he felt terrible. The photographer was in tears because obviously it's
oh
thousands of dollars
yeah,
worth of equipment. But the kid
so
was a really good
expensive.
kid. Like, he offered to pay
I
for it.
hope
He
that
was just like,
photographer had insurance at least.
yeah. They talked it out, and they're actually she still shoots for him. So
Oh, that's
like
good.
it was definitely, it
Huh.
was a really intense situation turned beautiful. So, but I'm glad you're okay. I'm glad you didn't fall.
Yeah.
I did want to ask you, like, before we go and everything, like, did you have anything that you wanted to, like, while you're in quarantine? Is there anything that you want to promote or announce that you've got going on right now?
Yeah. So like I said, I've been trying to not only during quarantine, but just in 2020 in general, I've been trying to like step up my game and everything. I have prints for sale right now. I just opened a darkroom gallery and I'm selling a bunch of prints. And I'm actually offering a discount to the first 20 people that buy a print, 20% off for the first 20 prints. But you have to use the discount code GREEN.
Sick.
Just use the discount code GREEN at checkout, and the link to that gallery is on my page. So just go to my Instagram page, and the link is right there. It'll bring you to my gallery. You can see what I think are pretty decent photography shots. There's Grand Canyon shit. There's New York City shit. There's the Statue of Liberty, some artistic stuff I did at this random beach here in New York called Dead Horse Bay. It's like this Dead Horse Bay is this little like area around Jamaica Bay where an old landfill from like the 30s, 40s, it like capsized. And so all of these vintage bottles are like spilling out all over the beach, as well as other like vintage garbage, like scary
Right.
dolls that haven't disintegrated and parts of old shoes. I did a whole like kind of artistic photography at that location, so I have some of those prints for
Sick.
sale as well. So yeah,
Right. So 20%
support,
off if you use
support
the.
indie artists, support local artists, or at least follow me on Instagram. Please follow me on Instagram. I'm trying to get more followers.
Yeah, absolutely. So we're going to leave this up for 24 hours.
Right.
You know, we're going to post it to our IGTV. Everybody that's watching and everybody that watches over the next 24 hours, definitely follow 26 Shades of Green. Rachel is one of our photographers in New York. She's phenomenal. Great shots. Honestly, you guys go to 26 Shades of Green on Instagram. You're going to take one look at her profile and you're going to see why she's a phenomenal photographer. So yeah, thanks for hanging out with me today. Well, cool.
Right,
well,
John.
sweet. I'll definitely see you soon and be safe. Okay.
All right, thanks, John. Have a great evening.
All right. You too.